Wide cinematic shot, dusty old western town, sunset bleeding across the horizon, wind howls through wooden buildings. The townsfolk didn't look twice when the Apache widow walked in. Her face was burned by the desert sun, her dress torn, and her daughter's small hand clutched in hers. "Please," she whispered to the cowboy at the saloon bar. "My daughter hasn't eaten in 2 days. I'll work. Just for one night." The bar went silent. Then laughter erupted. A drunk ranch hand sneered. "Work? What can you do, squaw?" But one man, sitting at the far end of the bar, didn't laugh. His hand froze around his glass. His eyes, cold, gray, and haunted, fixed on her. Night outside the saloon, moonlight cutting through the dust. The widow held her daughter close, tears streaking through the dirt on her cheeks. That's when the cowboy stepped out. He tossed her a silver coin. "Meet me by the old stable at dawn," he said quietly. "But I'm not paying for what they think I am." The widow's eyes widened. "Then, what do you want from me?" He looked at the child, thin, shivering, clutching her mother's arm, and said, "To give you both a chance to live." Golden sunrise over the open plains. Horses neigh softly. The cowboy, named Cole Tanner, a former Union scout, waited by a saddled horse. When the widow arrived, he handed her a small rifle and said, "Ever held one of these?" She shook her head. "Then today you'll learn." She looked terrified, but her daughter, with wide, hopeful eyes, had whispered, "Mama, maybe he's good." For the first time in years, the widow smiled. As they rode toward the nearby canyon, gunfire erupted. A gang of outlaws stormed down the ridge, the same men who had killed her husband years ago. Cole drew his revolver, returning fire, but he was outnumbered until the widow, shaking but determined, lifted the rifle. A single shot cracked through the dust. One bandit fell. Her hands trembled, but her aim was steady. Cole turned, shocked. "You said you never held one before," she whispered, voice breaking. "I watched my husband die with one in his hand. I had to learn, to remember." Together they fought, two broken souls against an army, and they won. Cole cleaned his gun silently, staring into the flames. "Your husband," he said quietly. "He was Apache, right?" She nodded. "They called him traitor when he tried to make peace. They burned our home." Cole's jaw tightened. "I was there, part of that patrol. I didn't know who he was." Tears welled in her eyes. You killed him?" He swallowed hard, voice cracking. "I followed orders. I didn't know. But I swore if I ever met his family, I'd make it right." The widow looked at her daughter, sleeping peacefully by the fire, and whispered, "Then teach her how to survive the way her father would have." Cole nodded, eyes glistening. From that night he did. The little girl learned to ride, to shoot, to read. The widow learned to stand tall again. No longer a beggar, but a warrior's wife, reborn in spirit. Word spread across the town. The Apache widow now worked beside the cowboy, protecting caravans, feeding orphans, rebuilding what hate destroyed. When townsfolk came again with insults, she just smiled, and beside her stood the cowboy, silent, loyal, and redeemed. Years later, a quiet grave under the canyon sunset. The widow stood alone, holding her daughter's hand, now a grown young woman. Before them, a cross marked with the name Cole Tanner, the man who stayed. She whispered through tears, "You gave us back our life, cowboy. I hope you found peace." Sometimes redemption doesn't come with medals. It comes with mercy. If you believe kindness can change even the hardest hearts, write "Mercy Wins" in the comments and share this story so more people remember. Compassion is never weakness.